Morning everyone, I'm just going to raise this up a little bit. I hope that's clear. I hope you can see. Now I've been asked how to cut doilies. Right, I've got one here that I'm going to be chopping up. And then I've got this one for the leaves. So what I'm going to do, this is a damaged one. But I'm going to take these out. So I'll show you this one first. Now what you need to do is always cut to the outside of whatever it is you want. So you just take them like that and snip them on the outside, and they won't come apart. Well, very rare do they come apart, like this one. See, leave on, it's a leaf, so leave that section on, and then just do the same on the other side. And what you see is there is a loop that ties this one to that one. Hopefully you can see that. See that little loop there? That loop you need to leave and cut above it. And that keeps hold. And will stop that from coming apart. I can't get my camera any closer than that. Now you've two chains attached to that one loop there. So what you do there, move the other piece out of the way, is chop that, and then if you take that off, look, it leaves that loop. So you're cutting above the loops all the time, see? Now that's not going to go anywhere, but I want that out as a leaf, so I'm going to snip that. And then what you do is you snip those two. Pull them apart, and you can see the chain you're cutting. And as long as you're not pulling them about, they should be quite safe. And then I just chop that bit off, because you're going to put that behind something. You know, behind a flower, so that's perfect, like that. They will not come apart. So I'll just do another one very quickly, and then I'll do a doily circle. So I'm just cutting above, and you can do these pretty quickly when you get going. Now that's got a little bit there I don't want, so I'm just going to chop that off. But like that. And I've got mine, I can use those for leaves anywhere, look, and then put a flower there, and that's perfectly fine. So you cut away from the actual piece you want. Now here's a flower, see the flower in the centre, just snip it away, there's the loop, snip it above it, see there's the loop that they've joined those three onto that one, just cut above them, and that pulls out. See, that's the loop that joined it with. Okay, and just snip that. Snip those above it, and just pull them little bits out. That's fine, look, you're just left with a little loop. I'm going to pull it out, like that, see? Now, you won't get a loop on every one, because it depends how it's put together. Like that. And I generally will just leave them bits on, it's nothing. As long as I've cut above it, if they were to fray or anything like that, then that would be fine. So just cut above them. And you can sit if you want and take out your little bits, and you're left with that little loop. See? So you're cutting above where they've been stitched in. You know, attached. Like that. And you end up with a little loopy one, like that. And you end up with a little flower. Okay? So that is how you do your leaves. So what I'm going to do now, you get a little bit of mess, but never mind. So what I'm going to do now is just put that to one side. Now here's a doily one. Oh, ladies and gents, don't forget, I do have, look how many beads you're getting. You're getting 250 gram beads and 12 pearl stick pins, 3-inch stick pins, which is cheap. And I do have some left. Run along to the Etsy. I'll put the link on this video, but it is on the other video as well. Right, here we go. This is an outside doily, and it is attached to another one, isn't it? So what you do is you just... There is a link between that one and that one, and you just have to cut the link. You may lose... See, like they're attached. But look, they're only on one chain. It's one chain holding them, cut above the doily. So you're snipping that off. See, there's the chain. You can actually see the chain on that one. But always try and cut above. Now that's open, that one, but that doesn't matter because, you know, you're not going to see little bits like that. And then just pull that one back into shape. And there's your doily. You will get the odd one like this when you've got two doilies joining together. One of them will survive, you know, it being attached. And the other one won't. So I'm just going to take this one off at the moment. Now that's going to survive because it's only attached to that. And that's destroyed that. Not quite, but you know it does. Because you're only cutting that little tiny link. So always cut it above the link. Again, we've got two doilies joining together. So one of them won't survive. Well, I mean, when I say that, that survived and that has. If you can get that link between the two, then you're okay. But some of them don't. So I'm just going to cut that. I know you probably can't see on the camera, but you can actually see that one link that's holding that together. And you just snip it. So, right, I'm just going to cut mine off. There's another doily. Now, see, there's another one on the inside. It's as long as you cut away from the piece you want, the best you can. They don't always work, but 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter. It's only a little bit. When it's mixed with other things, you're not going to see that. And that's just how you do it. I'll have a look and see if I've got another one that I can do. So that's those, and I can continue with that later on. I'm just going to have a look for a different style. Right, now here's one that I've cut from a big sheet. But just say I want that one in the middle. Well, there's only one chain holding them together. I'm going to cut this because I want to use that as a trim, you know, an edging. So what you do is you cut the one above this. This is what I'm after, but it's going to leave me that. And cut the one above it. See that link? Can you see that little link there? And neither part of this will get wasted. Like that. So I've ended up with a smaller one, like a snowflake. And then I've got this, which I can use as my trim. And to do that, I'm simply just going to cut up the section of one. And cut to the outside edge of that. And then when I want to use that on a project, see, as a nice, like say if I do one of the bags, and I want to use that as a nice trim on the bottom section of the bag, you just straighten it out and glue it on. And that's fine. But that's how you do them. And they're quite simple to do. And then, of course, you know, I could go small. If I only wanted that, I would snip the outside one, them two there. There's two there. And I would snip them all the way around if I just wanted that. In fact, I'm going to do that so I can show you. There's two there, you just snip it. It's like one chain they've done to attach this section. Oops-a-daisy, see? So they've done one loop to attach that bit. So you can cut both of those, because it's a long loop instead of a small one. It's like 3 or 4 stitches here. And just cut those. None of this will go to waste, not even that bit, because I can put that on something. Okay, so I've got that one then. and that'll go in a flower centre. Perfect. I mean, I might use that just on the spine of a book somewhere and cut it, and then use a long strip there, glue it down and attach another frill, but leave it so that that's showing. So I never waste anything. I always keep them. But I hope that's helpful, and remember, whatever part you are cutting out, like I wanted this section, you cut away from it. You cut in the loops that attach in the two pieces. If I wanted this, I would cut this loop here. See that, and that. That would save that, and it would save that, but I've just cut the chain that's attached the two together, and that's all you're doing. Thanks for watching, take care, I'll speak to you soon, bye bye for now.